Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Luke Brooks Art, where I paint amazing, beautiful masterpieces, just timeless paintings that will be sold for millions in a few hundred years. And Jay just talks shit for like 20 minutes because he's the useless, miserable twat of a twin that came out of my mum's pussy. And I was the blessed one. That was actually really sad. To be frank with you guys, I don't mind being the talentless twin. Less pressure on my shoulders, less expectations. So, yeah. By the way, guys, the other day I heard the word "to be frank," and it got me thinking, who the fuck was Frank? Like, was he just a really extremely honest bloke, and from that day on, people were like, aha, when someone is honest, they are frank, after our good friend Frank, who is very honest. Unfortunately, after a quick Google search, it wasn't named after a guy named Frank. It originated from the 6th century from a Germanic tribe called the Franco, which nowadays is referred to as the Franks. But it got me thinking more. Say if it was named after Frank, what would to be Luke mean? Now, in my own opinion, to be Luke would be to be blunt. So, throughout my videos, I'm going to be very Luke with you. Now, I have a question of the day, and I might incorporate more questions of the days into future episodes. So, if your name were to be named after a characteristic trait or an adjective of some sort to describe something, for example, to be Jessica would be to be very funny. What would your name stand for? So I'm going to leave it at that. To be Luke means to be blunt with you. So, have a think about it and let me know in the comments. Now, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. We are going to get straight into this episode and it's going to be straight fire. So, without further ado, 3, 2, 1. Rightio, let's dive straight into the topic of relationship advice, because I am the best at giving relationship advice. So if you have a therapist or someone you really trust, stop asking them for relationship advice. Just come to me. I am the self-proclaimed relationship advice guru / expert. So, how do I support my brother and his marriage after his fiance cheated during her bachelorette party? So right before these guys were making the ultimate commitment, she made the ultimate fuck up and cheated on him during the bachelorette party. The bachelorette parties are typically a few days or a week before the wedding, I believe. And it's the night to let loose and, everything you ever want to do, get it out of your system, except cheat. So his fiance decided to be a little whore and cheat. Now it's hard to come back from cheating, and I do not condone cheating at all. I had an episode like ages ago where I read about someone who got cheated on, and I kept calling that person a whore. And then I had a few comments saying, wait, didn't you cheat on your ex-girlfriend, blah, blah, blah? And the truth is, well, yeah, I did. Does that mean I condone it? No, not at all. Now, I've never said publicly or went into detail at all about what happened. But if you guys want the tea, I'll spill it right now. It was the last night on tour. We were celebrating. Me and a few of the boys, me, Jay, and a few boys went out for a drink to get fucking hammered, to get smashed, to celebrate. And the guy that I was sharing a hotel room with stayed back at the hotel. So I was getting smashed, blind drunk, blackout drunk pretty much. I go back to the hotel room and the guy that I'm sharing a room with had a girl. And they were getting a little bit frisky, like very frisky. And me, my drunken state, this is no excuse guys, by the way, I'm ashamed of my actions. I thought it would be hilarious if I got somewhat involved. I couldn't get it up even if I tried. That's how drunk I was. So there was no intercourse on my behalf. But what I did was still unacceptable, intolerable, and just downright inexcusable and disgusting. I'm not making any excuses for myself. That is not the person I want to be, and I'll gladly own up to it 100 out of 100 times. Because I don't tolerate cheating and I'm so against it, I did tell my ex-girlfriend what I did because she did deserve to know the truth. I violated her trust, and the least I could do is come clean. You can't be against something and lie about it. So I did confess to my girlfriend at the time, and I told her what happened. Because I don't tolerate cheating, I'm not going to lie about it. Although I wasn't sexually aroused at the time, it's still a form of cheating. You're still overstepping any boundaries set in place in any standard relationship. And if the shoe was on the other foot and she did the same thing, I would be equally as mad. So I would be going against everything I stand for if I just swept it under the rug and pretended it never happened. Now that's not how I roll. I consider myself an honest person and I pride myself on my honesty. So yes, you guys can all call me a whore too and I'll gladly accept it. So just because I was a whore doesn't mean I can't call someone else a whore for cheating. Now that was my first and only girlfriend. It's been 5 years since that and I still haven't had another girlfriend because I would never go into a relationship if I wasn't committed or serious about someone. So for this girl in this Reddit story to cheat on a bachelorette party, you could make the excuse that there was alcohol involved, but at the end of the day, it's not an acceptable excuse. If you can't handle yourself on alcohol, then don't drink it. So there's a little context to that. I hope I don't get any more comments saying, wait, you can't call her a whore because you cheated too. I've accepted it, I've owned it, and I'm still calling this person a whore. So let's get into this story. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, and for the anonymity, I will refer to my brother as Jack and his fiancée as Jill. My brother Jack and his fiancée Jill have been together for about 4 years and engaged since early 2019. I really liked them together and felt that Jill was the first marriage material girlfriend that my brother dated. The wedding was planned for earlier this year but was cancelled indefinitely after it was discovered that Jill cheated during her bachelorette trip 5 months before the wedding. Wait, she had a bachelorette trip 5 months before the wedding? That's a bit early, don't you think? 5 months? She had no intention of ever telling him, but he found out when he saw a text from a friend of hers that was on the trip. Coward. I'm not saying that I'm better because I confessed, but you know what? It's better to let the truth out than constantly being paranoid and anxious and letting that person find out from someone else. The text basically said, I don't know how I can stand up in front of your families and give a toast after what happened. After a few days of trickle truths and arguing, it came out that Jill had sex with someone while drunk. Jack was devastated and called the wedding off immediately. They broke up and about a month later, Jack was in a new city with a new job. This seemed like the best possible scenario since he was away from her and had new things to keep his mind busy. Well, that lasted all of a few weeks and slowly Jill was getting back into his life. Now, a little over a year after the incident, she has moved in with him in his new city and just last week they became re-engaged. What? Yeah, that'd be a hard pill to swallow as a sibling or as a parent or family member. It would be awkward just letting that person back into your family dinner table like nothing ever happened, but you all know she had someone's cock down her throat and it wasn't Jack's. I have absolutely no respect for Jill or any cheater for that matter, and I don't understand how Jack can see past what she did. There is no excuse for cheating, and to do it during a bachelorette party shows you have no respect for your partner or potential marriage. The first time I saw Jill after she cheated, which was at a family holiday only 2 months later, I was a little nasty and got scolded by Jack and my mother. From that point forward, I've basically given Jill the grey rock treatment. I don't engage with her unless she says something first, and when I do talk to her, my answers are short. I assume that they were doomed to fail and I will just have to put up with her until Jack finally comes to his senses. Now that they are re-engaged, it looks like I'm going to have to put up with Jill a little longer than I expected, and I'm not sure I can keep up the grey rock routine. There's only so many left in me before I snap and say, hey, remember when you fucked that guy? My question is, how can I be supportive of my brother and his marriage when I have no respect for his partner whatsoever? Well, since they called off the wedding, if they get remarried, is she going to have another bachelorette party? Because I'd probably keep an eye on her if she did. The best advice I can give, just keep your relationship with Jill civil, just for Jack's sake. If Jack has given her a second chance, and look, maybe it's time to give her a second chance. Although there's a saying, forgive but don't forget. It's your brother's choice. You can only say so much to warn him or say how you feel. After that point, Jack's a grown man. He makes his own decisions. You're going to have to only support him and be there for him. Having said that, you don't have to have an amazing relationship with Jill. Honestly, keep doing what you're doing now. You don't have to talk to her. If she talks to you, answer back. Don't be rude. Be polite. Just keep it civil for Jack's sake. Just know if she does it again, then there's a point where you have to say to Jack, look, I don't support it at all. If she does it again, I'm not going to be there for you and feel sorry for you. We warned you. You saw what she did. She's probably capable of doing it again. You don't have to be like, I told you so. But if it happens again, you just have to say, this time, learn from it. Although you think your brother's making a huge mistake, he's the one that is going to suffer from the consequences should it happen again. I know you don't want to see him hurt again. No one wants to see him hurt, but it's his decision. He's a grown man and he's going to have to live with it. So that is my final answer. And just to clarify again, I don't condone cheating. It's disgusting and it shouldn't happen. And if that makes me a hypocrite, fine, I'm a hypocrite. I do believe in life. Everyone deserves a second chance. If it's not someone else giving you a second chance, it's you giving yourself a second chance. So you can only learn from mistakes. Alright, guys, let's get into a you should know. You should know that everyone would do things differently if they had a redo on their life. Don't focus on what mistakes you've made and try to enjoy what makes your life unique. Wow, this can kind of relate to what I was just talking about. So sometimes we focus on what we should have done differently, but we should know that everyone would have done things differently at some point. Learn from it and move on. Your life is unique. Embrace and build onto the good. So that's a little bit of life wisdom and facts there. The best you can do is own up to your mistakes, take accountability, and move on from there. Don't spend your life sitting on it. Move forward. That's the best we can do. One foot after the other. Keep going. God, I feel like Gandhi right now. Okay, guys, am I the arsehole for not wanting to share my birthday with my dead twin anymore? Now, I'm a twin, and if my twin ever died, I can't imagine my birthday ever being the same again. So I can kind of relate to this, albeit the dead twin part. Touch wood. So I'd love to get a bit of context in this story. So, my 19th birthday is this Friday, and I told my mum and dad I don't want to do anything if we are going to have the birthday for my twin too. I was an identical twin, and me and my sister were born early, and she died a few hours after we were born. Every single birthday since I was little has also been a birthday for her. We go to her grave and put flowers on it, and every gift has always had both her and my name on it. Look, after reading that, I can understand from the parents' point of view. They are sad they lost a child, but to put the twin who's never actually met his or her identical twin in constant reminding of, hey, you used to have a twin, but it died at birth, so we're going to remind you every single year. That would become a bit of a strain. Like if I had a dead twin when I was born and 25 years later I'm still being reminded of the dead twin that I never met, I'd start to be like, hey, what the fuck? Like, are we ever going to move on? I personally never even met this twin besides in the womb. It's not really fair that my birthday is overshadowed by my dead twin. As fucked up as that sounds, as cruel as that sounds, but anyway, let me read the rest of the story. Mum gets really sad and always cries for a long time, and I've always felt overshadowed on my birthday. The grave visit and flowers and all have always been mandatory, and I was never allowed to have friends over or have a party until after we did it. I want to go to dinner with my boyfriend for my birthday at his house, and then I'm going to watch movies with my friends. Mum is upset I'm not making the hour-long drive Friday to do the grave ritual and is really sad, and my dad is making me feel guilty since I'm their only living daughter and stuff. I told my mum I don't want to share my birthday with a sister I never even knew, and I'm done with sharing with the ghost since this has been my entire life. My parents are really upset and I now feel really bad, and maybe I should suck it up, but I'm just so sick of it. Well, yeah, you're definitely not the arsehole, and I can understand exactly how you feel. Well, I can't understand exactly how you feel, but I think I can understand how you might feel. It would be tough knowing that your birthday is also a grieving day for your parents, and they force it on you to also grieve for someone you've never even met. It's fine that the parents are sad, but they're kind of forcing the grieving onto the sister when she had nothing to do with the identical twin other than sharing the womb. The parents are coming from an emotional perspective, and that might cloud their judgment of how you might feel and how it affects you. But you need to be honest and sit down with them and talk to them and tell them exactly how it makes you feel. And if they still can't respect that after you've told them, I agree with you. Don't celebrate your birthday on that day anymore. They have to also move on. They can grieve, but they don't have to do it in front of you too. By all means, your parents can go visit the gravestone on your birthday. They don't have to take you though. And they certainly don't have to force you to put your birthday celebrations on hold until they're done with their emotional grieving. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty weird that your parents give you a gift on your birthday or on your birthday cake and it has to you and your dead twin. 19 years ago, that's very odd behavior. It seems like your mother in particular hasn't moved on, and it is still very sensitive for her. I would be very calm and mature in how you approach her when talking to her about it. Maybe she needs to see a therapist or something. As a mother, I think it's very important that she separates the feelings of grieving and celebrating, because after 19 years, the grieving does overshadow your birthday. Alright, so final verdict, you are not the asshole. Dun, dun, dun. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're heading into a weekend now. By the way, Melbourne is finally past the lockdown stage. We still have somewhat harsh restrictions in place, but we can let loose a little bit. We can go to a bar and have a drink, and that is all I've been wanting. So I'm gonna head to a few bars this weekend and have a quiet drink. And by quiet, you can't see me right now, but I'm winking when I say quiet. So I'm gonna have a few quiet drinks this weekend. As usual, the top 5 comments regarding the topic of this video will be featured at the end of the next video. So please do get commenting and leave a big, fat, juicy, voluptuous like on this video. Alright guys, that's enough for me. You'll see me in the next video. And on that note, peace.
It could be worse, right? I got where I'm at without no work-life balance. You tell me that it's love, but I'm knowing that it's madness. Squad with me, God, cut us from the same fabric. No, I really can't complain, yeah. Everything is straight. I've been on the wave, but everything I say turn into the real thing. Tell them run it up, you know it ain't a thing.
Comments from last video brought to you by Luke fucking Brooks.